I never thought I'd be the guy writing something like this, but here I am. My name's Mike, and I've been married to Lisa for about 5 years now. We met in college, got married pretty young, and at first everything seemed fine. She was beautiful, smart, and I honestly thought I had found my forever. I was proud of that, even proud to tell people she was my wife. People always nodded, said I was lucky. And I believed it too. But over the last year, something just felt off. Small things at first. She started working longer hours, which I didn't think much of at the time. She'd come home late, smelling different sometimes, like perfume from a woman's perfume, not hers. She got a little more bitchy, snapping at me over the smallest things, making sarcastic comments I'd never heard before. I'd ask her what was wrong and she'd brush it off, tell me I was overthinking, that I was just paranoid. But I knew her too well. I could see the cracks forming. Still, I kept believing she was just stressed or tired, maybe just not as happy as she used to be. Then came the company. Picnics? I always thought those were just fun family events, a chance to relax and enjoy some time outside work. Lisa was always the life of the party, flirty, laughing loudly, flirting a little with the guys there. But I shrugged it off, thinking it was just her usual charm. Besides, she was always good at pretending to be innocent. But then, one day, I saw something strange on our home security footage. I had installed cameras in the house after I started noticing her secretive behavior. I wanted to catch her in the act if she was up to something, and I did. It was late at night. I was going through the footage just to check that everything was all right when I saw her. Lisa, meeting someone I didn't recognize at first. When I zoomed in, my stomach dropped. It was my former Army commander, Major Thomas. The guy who gave me my last job after I got discharged. The guy I trusted. I saw them sneaking around in the office building after hours. They weren't just talking. They were holding hands, whispering, looking over their shoulders like they were doing something wrong. The footage showed them meeting. Late at night when everyone else had gone home. No security guards, no witnesses, just the two of them. I couldn't believe it. I replayed it 3 times just to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. It was her, my wife and him together cheating, during company picnics behind my back, secretly meeting in the dark. The piece of evidence was undeniable. I felt like someone punched me in the gut. The betrayal burned deep. I couldn't breathe right for a moment. I wanted to confront her right then, but I knew I needed to think, to plan. I remembered how she always lied about where she was, how she'd blow me off when I asked to talk. She'd tell me she was with her friends, that she was working late at the office, that she was just tired. But now I saw the truth. She wasn't just tired or busy. She was cheating. With someone I trusted, someone I once admired. The man who had helped me get on my feet after my Army days. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who'd catch his wife screwing someone else, especially not him. That's when my mind started racing, trying to figure out what to do next. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but the evidence was right there in front of me, clear as day. The first shock was the worst. I wasn't just angry, I was numb, like my brain was trying to process something way too heavy to handle all at once. I kept replaying the footage in my head over and over. Her sneaking out late at night, meeting him in that dark office. It wasn't just about the betrayal anymore. It was about the sense of losing everything I thought we were. I started questioning everything. Her words, her smiles, all those times she told me she loved me. Was it all a lie? I remember sitting on the couch, staring at my phone, debating whether to call her or confront her right then. My hands were trembling. I could feel my heart pounding like it was trying to jump out of my chest. I knew I had to do something, but I didn't want to make a rash decision. I needed to hear her side, or so I told myself. But deep down, I already knew. I knew she'd lie. That's what she always did when she got caught, even if she didn't admit it outright. Finally, I decided I couldn't wait any longer. I called her just to hear her voice. She answered with that sweet, innocent tone she always used when she was hiding something. I played it cool, asked her where she was, what she was doing. She immediately snapped at me, her tone sharp and bitchy. "What's it to you? I'm at the mall. I told you I was meeting my friend Lisa from work. Why are you so paranoid?" I could hear the fake annoyance in her voice, but I didn't buy it. Not anymore. I told her I knew she was lying and that I had proof. Silence. Then she said something I'll never forget. "You're crazy, Mike. You're just imagining things. Maybe you're the one cheating on me, huh?" That was the moment everything shifted. I wasn't just hurt, I was furious. I confronted her face to face the next day, armed with the footage and everything I knew. I told her I saw her sneaking around with him, that I knew about the affair. Her face twisted into this weird, bitchy sneer, like she was trying to act innocent but couldn't quite pull it off. She spat, "You're overreacting, you're jealous, that's all it is, you're insecure." But I saw the cracks in her voice, the panic hiding behind her eyes. She started to lie, of course. Said they were just friends, that it meant nothing, that I was crazy for even thinking she would do something so stupid. As she lied, I felt my blood boil. It's one thing to be cheated on, but to see her lie so effortlessly, to deny everything even when I had her on tape, something inside me snapped. I realized I couldn't trust her anymore, not even a little. The woman I married, the woman I loved, was capable of lying to my face with such ease. That's when anger turned into something darker. I knew I had to do something, but I also knew I had to be smart about it. I couldn't just storm out and confront her in a fit of rage. I needed a plan, a way to make her feel what I was feeling, to make her realize she'd crossed a line she couldn't come back from. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about everything, the stolen moments, her betrayal, how she'd looked me in the eye and lied so easily. It was like I was living someone else's nightmare, only I was awake and it was real. I tried to reason with myself, told myself maybe she just made a mistake, maybe she was confused. But deep down I knew better. If she could cheat with him, someone she'd known for years, someone who helped me after my discharge, then she wasn't the woman I thought she was. She was someone else entirely. And now I had to decide what to do next. I knew I couldn't keep living like this, not knowing if she was still lying or meeting him again. The trust was gone, and I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff. I didn't want to fall, but I also knew I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay. The next morning, I woke up feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. My mind was racing, trying to piece everything together. I couldn't get that footage out of my head, nor could I forget her face when I told her I knew. I kept asking myself how I missed the signs, how I failed to see what she was really capable of. She always played the victim, the innocent wife, but now I saw her for what she really was, a liar, a cheat, someone I thought I knew but clearly didn't. I decided I needed to know the full extent of her lies. I installed a few more hidden cameras around the house, especially in the bedroom and her phone. I wanted to catch her off guard, see what she was saying when she thought I wasn't watching. I'd also set up a few voice recorders just in case she slipped up. I knew I had to gather more evidence before confronting her again because I needed to be sure, no matter how much it hurt. It didn't take long. Within a day, I caught her in a lie about where she was going after work. She told me she was heading to her sister's house, but I found footage of her sneaking into a hotel downtown with him. I saw her going into the room, laughing, touching his arm. The recordings matched the time she said she was with her sister. I was sick. The level of deception was staggering. That afternoon, I sat her down again. This time I told her I had proof, more than just a vague suspicion. I played her the recordings, the footage of her sneaking into that hotel, her voice recorded saying things I won't repeat here but which were enough to confirm her affair. I watched her face twist, her eyes darting around, trying to come up with a lie. But the evidence was concrete. She stared at me, mouth open, and all she could do was lie harder. "I don't know what you're talking about," she said, voice trembling. "That's not me. Someone's setting me up. You're just jealous, trying to ruin my reputation." I was furious. I told her that I had the recordings, that I saw her with him, that she was caught red-handed. She rolled her eyes, scoffing. "You're so paranoid, Mike. You're just insecure. Maybe you're the one cheating. Maybe you're hiding something." I couldn't believe she had the nerve to accuse me of cheating when she was the one sneaking around behind my back. At that moment, I felt a mix of sadness and rage. I'd loved her, trusted her. I thought we had a good life together. But now all I had was this crushing realization that she'd been lying to me for months, maybe longer. I started questioning everything, her loyalty, her intentions, whether she ever loved me at all. The woman I'd married, the woman I thought I knew, was a fraud, and I was spiraling into this dark place where I didn't know what was real anymore. She kept denying, insisting she was innocent, that it was all just a big misunderstanding. But I wasn't buying it. The evidence was too damning. I was too angry, too betrayed. I told her I wanted answers, real ones, or I was leaving. She looked at me with that same bitchy sneer and said, "Fine, if you want to end this, go ahead, but you're just making a fool of yourself. You won't find anyone better. You're nothing without me." That was her way of trying to turn it around to make me feel guilty. But I knew the truth now. I knew she was lying, cheating, and that she'd been playing me for months. I just didn't know how I was going to go on from here. After that confrontation, I felt like I'd been punched again, this time even harder. It was like I'd been numb for so long, and now the pain hit me all at once. The betrayal ran so deep that I couldn't even cry. I just sat there, staring at her, trying to process what my life had become. It was like I was standing outside my own body, watching everything unfold in some sick, slow-motion nightmare. I decided I needed some space to think. I told her to pack a bag and leave. I didn't want her in my house anymore, at least not while I was still trying to figure out what to do. She argued, of course, crying, yelling, saying she'd never cheat, that it was all a mistake, that I was overreacting. But I wasn't listening. I knew the truth, and the truth was that she'd been lying for months. I didn't trust her anymore. Trust, once broken like that, isn't something you can fix overnight. I spent the next few days in a fog. I blocked her number, changed my passwords, started removing everything that reminded me of her. I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything, her lies, her sneers. That damn footage. My mind kept going back to Major Thomas, the man I once respected who had helped me after my discharge. I was furious. How could she do this? How could she betray not only me but someone who had been like a mentor to me? One night I decided to go to the office just to see it with my own eyes. I needed to confirm what I already suspected, that she was still meeting him. I slipped in through the back door, quiet as a mouse. The office was dark, but I saw the faint glow of a lamp in her old office. I crept closer, peering inside, and what I saw made my stomach turn. There they were, sitting close, talking quietly. Her hand was on his thigh. I could see her leaning toward him, laughing at something he said. They weren't just talking work stuff. They were clearly involved. It was like a knife twisting in my gut. The pain of seeing her there, so brazen, so indifferent to what I'd discovered, was almost unbearable. I felt the cold rage bubbling up again. I wanted to storm in, shout, end it all right then and there, but I knew I had to keep my cool, to think carefully about what I was going to do next. I started making arrangements, getting a lawyer, planning how to tell my family, how to handle the fallout. I realized I'd been a fool for so long, ignoring all the signs, trusting her when I should have seen through her lies. But I also knew I had to do what was best for me. I couldn't keep living in this lie, in this emotional prison. The woman I married was gone, replaced by someone I didn't recognize. And the worst part, I still loved her, or at least I thought I did. That's what made it so brutal. I didn't just feel angry, I still felt this ache, this hope that maybe, just maybe, she'd stop lying and come clean. But deep inside, I knew better now. Trust was broken, maybe forever. The next few days were a whirlwind. I couldn't focus on anything. My mind kept circling back to her, to the lies, to the footage, to everything I had uncovered. I knew I had to make a move, but I wasn't sure what that move should be. I felt like I was walking on a razor's edge. One wrong step and I might lose myself completely. My wife, Lisa, kept calling, begging me to talk, to listen, to forgive. She'd cry, swear she loved me, say it was all a mistake, that she was sorry. But I wasn't buying any of it anymore. I decided I had to confront her again, face to face, and get her to come clean. I set up a meeting at a coffee shop nearby, thinking I needed to hear her out, see her reactions firsthand. When she arrived, she looked like she'd been crying all night. Her eyes were red, her makeup smudged. She looked pathetic, but also dangerous, because she was good at hiding her true feelings behind that bitchy facade. She sat down across from me, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue, trying to look innocent. The moment she saw the footage on my phone, her expression changed. Her mouth dropped open, then she started lying again. "Mike, I swear I don't know what you saw. Maybe someone's framing me. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding." Her voice was shaky, but her tone was defensive, like she was trying to convince herself more than me. I looked at her coldly and said, "Stop lying, Lisa. I saw her in the office with him. I saw her sneaking into that hotel. Do you think I'm stupid?" She scoffed, rolling her eyes. "You're crazy, you're paranoid. I've been working late, yes, but that doesn't mean I'm cheating. You're just jealous because I don't spend enough time with you anymore." That really set me off. I told her she was full of shit, that her whole story was a lie, that she'd been cheating behind my back for months. She looked at me with that bitchy smirk and said, "Maybe I am. Maybe I like the attention. Maybe I want to see how far I can get before you find out. You always thought you were so perfect, huh?" That was her way of trying to turn it around, make me question myself, make me feel guilty. But I was done. I told her I wasn't going to be some fool anymore, that I'd seen enough. I told her I was filing for divorce, that I wanted her out of my life. Her face twisted into this annoyed, angry glare. "Fine," she spat. "Go ahead and ruin everything. Just remember, you're nothing without me. You'll never find anyone better. I'm the best thing that ever happened to you." That was her final shot, trying to hurt me, trying to make me doubt myself. I felt an overwhelming mixture of sadness and rage. I'd loved her, but she'd thrown it all away. I realized I'd wasted so much time believing in her, in the person she pretended to be. This wasn't just about betrayal, it was about the fact that I'd been blind for too long. I'd let her walk all over me because I wanted to believe in us, in our future. But now I knew better. I knew I had to get out, even if it meant starting over from nothing. That night, I packed her things, told her to leave, and watched her walk out the door for the last time. The silence after she left was deafening. I sat alone in my house, feeling like I'd lost everything: my wife, my trust, my sense of security. All I had left was this gnawing ache inside, a realization that I'd been betrayed by the woman I loved and trusted. But in the quiet, I also started to understand something. I was finally free. Free from her lies, her manipulations, her betrayal. And maybe, just maybe, I could rebuild my life from this mess. In the days that followed, I found myself caught between relief and a strange kind of emptiness. The house was too quiet now, every corner echoing with memories I'd rather forget. I spent most of my time just staring at the walls, trying to piece myself back together. I knew I had made the right decision, but that didn't make the pain any easier to bear. Trust had been shattered beyond repair, and I realized how fragile everything I'd taken for granted really was. People kept telling me I was brave, that I did the right thing walking away from someone who didn't deserve me. But inside, I still felt the sting of betrayal. I kept replaying the footage, the lies, her sneering face, and I wondered how she could have lied so effortlessly, how she could have hurt me so badly. I thought about the times I'd defended her, the moments I'd believed her when she said she loved me. Now I saw it was all a lie, just part of her game. Looking back, I learned a lot from this nightmare. I learned that no matter how much you love someone, if they're capable of deception and betrayal, you need to trust your instincts. I learned that patience and hope only stretch so far before they turn into something toxic. You have to be willing to see the signs early, even if they hurt, because ignoring them only prolongs the pain. I also realized that revenge, in its own twisted way, isn't about hurting others. It's about taking back your power, about reclaiming your dignity. I didn't do anything flashy or dramatic, no grand gestures. I simply gathered what I needed, confronted her honestly, and made the decision to cut her out of my life. That's what truly gave me closure. Not the lies, not the accusations, but the fact that I stood up for myself. Now, I understand I'll probably never fully forget what happened, but I can move on. I can focus on myself, rebuild my confidence, and learn to trust again, slowly, carefully. I want to believe in love again someday, but this time I'll be more cautious. Because trust, once broken, doesn't heal overnight. You have to be willing to accept the scars, both physical and emotional, and keep moving forward. For anyone out there going through something similar, my advice is simple. Don't ignore the signs. Don't let guilt or hope keep you stuck in a toxic situation. Be honest with yourself, face the truth, and do what's best for you, no matter how painful it is at first. Because real strength isn't about pretending everything's okay. It's about having the courage to walk away when it's time. And trust me, walking away, even from someone you loved, can be the bravest thing you ever do.